In 2026, one of the smartest cybersecurity skills you can learn is not just Python, Linux, or ethical hacking. It is Splunk. And here is why. Companies are drowning in data. Firewall logs, cloud logs, endpoint alerts, user activity, server errors, network traffic, and security events. But data alone is useless. The real skill is knowing how to search it, connect it, understand it, and turn it into a decision. That is exactly where Splunk comes in. And with a global cybersecurity workforce gap in the millions, plus Cisco buying Splunk for $28 billion, this is not a random tool anymore. This is a career signal. But this video is not just a basic dashboard tutorial. I am not going to tell you, click here, then click there, and leave you with nothing useful. By the end of this video, you will understand three things. First, what Splunk actually does. Second, why companies still pay serious money for people who know it. And third, the exact 90-day roadmap I would follow if I had to learn Splunk from zero today. Because the goal is not to watch another tutorial. The goal is to become interview ready. So what is Splunk? Simple version. Splunk turns machine data into searchable intelligence. Every company has thousands or even millions of events happening every day. A user logs in. A firewall blocks traffic. A server crashes. A cloud service creates an error. An attacker tries a password. Without a tool like Splunk, all of that is just noise. But with Splunk, security teams can search across that data, build dashboards, create alerts, investigate incidents, and understand what is happening in real time. That is why Splunk is used by security analysts, IT operations teams, DevOps engineers, SREs, and compliance teams. Now, why does this matter specifically in 2026? Because Splunk is no longer just a standalone security tool. Cisco completed its acquisition of Splunk in March 2024 for around $28 billion. That tells you something important. Cisco is betting that the future of security, networking, observability, and AI operations will depend on data. Not random data. Clean, searchable, connected operational data. And Splunk is sitting right in the middle of that. So when you learn Splunk, you are not only learning a dashboard tool, you are learning how modern companies monitor security, infrastructure, applications, and incidents. Now let's talk about the job opportunity. But let's be honest. When people say 4 million open jobs, that does not mean there are 4 million Splunk-only jobs. That number refers to the global cybersecurity workforce gap. But here is the important part. Splunk is one of those practical tools that can help you enter that market. If you want to become a SOC analyst, SIEM analyst, threat analyst, detection engineer, Splunk admin, or security consultant, Splunk is a very strong skill to have. Why? Because companies do not hire you just because you say, "I like cybersecurity." They hire you when you can show them that you know how to investigate alerts, search logs, build detections, and explain what happened. Splunk gives you a way to prove that. Now, the real money skill inside Splunk is not clicking around the interface. It is SPL. SPL means Search Processing Language. This is the language you use to ask questions from your data. For example, you can search for failed logins. You can detect brute force attacks. You can find unusual outbound traffic. You can identify suspicious users, risky IP addresses, or systems behaving strangely. And this is where beginners and serious candidates separate. A beginner says, "I used Splunk before." A stronger candidate says, "I wrote SPL searches to detect brute force, data exfiltration, impossible travel, and suspicious authentication behavior." That second person sounds hireable. Another reason Splunk is powerful is that it is not only for cybersecurity. Splunk is also used in observability and IT operations. That means application performance, cloud infrastructure, uptime monitoring, error tracking, service reliability, and on-call investigations. So if you learn Splunk, you are not locked into only one path. You can move toward SOC analyst roles. You can move toward detection engineering. You can move toward Splunk administration. Or you can move toward SRE and observability roles. That makes Splunk a flexible skill. And flexible skills are valuable because they give you more than one career door. But here is the mindset shift. Splunk is not about memorizing dashboards. It is about learning how attackers move through data. A good analyst asks better questions. What changed? Who logged in? From where? Was this normal? What system was touched next? Did data leave the network? Should this alert become an incident? That is the real skill. Splunk is just a tool that helps you answer those questions faster. And if you can explain your investigation clearly, you become much more valuable than someone who only knows theory. So if I had to learn Splunk from zero in 2026, here is the roadmap I would follow. Days 1 to 30. Install Splunk or use the free trial. Learn the interface. Understand indexes, fields, time ranges, dashboards, reports, and basic searches. Do not overcomplicate it. Just learn how data gets in, how to search it, and how to display it. Days 30 to 60. Write SPL every single day. Practice stats, eval, lookup, recs, transaction, time chart, and alert conditions. This is where you build the skill that actually matters. Days 60 to 90. Build a mini SOC project. Create detections for brute force attacks, suspicious logins, malware beaconing, data exfiltration, and unusual user behavior. Then publish your work. Put your SPL queries, screenshots, dashboards, and notes on GitHub or LinkedIn. Because when you apply for jobs, proof beats promises. So here is the final answer. Should you learn Splunk in 2026? Yes, if you are serious about cybersecurity, SOC roles, SIEM, detection engineering, or observability. No, it will not magically get you a job overnight. But it gives you something very powerful, a practical skill you can show. You can build detections. You can analyze logs. You can create dashboards. You can explain incidents. And that is exactly what companies are looking for. So stop only watching cybersecurity videos. Start building proof. Install Splunk, learn SPL, create your first detection project, and make your skills visible. And if you want a full hands-on Splunk Lab series, subscribe, because that is what we are building next.